Now, just 10 days ago, it seemed that Newt Gingrich was all but out of the Republican presidential race after a poor result at the New Hampshire primary.
But a stunning turnaround at this weekend's South Carolina primary has elevated him back to the position of a contender. For more, we're joined now by ABC North America correspondent Craig McMurtry. And Craig, Newt Gingrich certainly this morning was talking like a real winner. What's been your analysis of his response and also the response of Mr Romney?
Well, Mr Romney was on morning television here. He's trying to shrug this off, not surprisingly, saying that yes, it's a setback, but it's a long process, this nomination contest. He's also acknowledging that he made a mistake last week. He was quite evasive over releasing his tax returns. Of course, he's very wealthy, and he appeared evasive in the debates. He really was able to be pinned, particularly by Newt Gingrich in the debates, for not releasing his tax records. He now says next week he will release the tax records heading into Florida. Newt Gingrich, of course, is saying that his strong showing here shows that he's the only Conservative tough enough to take on Barack Obama. And he's also having a shot at Mitt Romney, suggesting that Mitt Romney has struggled to define himself, whereas he's saying that people know who he is, warts and all, with all his flaws. They know he says what he thinks. And he's also maintaining this push to appeal to the grassroots, taking a shot at his party establishment too, saying that the party establishment is right to fear him because he really does want to shake up Washington.
And what do you think was the main reason he was able to win so handsomely in South Carolina? Was he able to tap into the anger of voters? Was religion at play here? Just what was the big reason for you?
The anger was certainly crucial, but in the end the debates really told. There was one telling moment in one of the debates where he was asked about his marriage problems. His second wife said that he asked her for an open marriage. He was furious and really blasted the US media for even raising that issue. That really struck a chord with the Christian Conservatives here in South Carolina. He really did take it up to the Washington establishment, to the media elites as he called them, and that really helped. The exit polls show that really did sway the undecided voters. The other thing that's worth emphasising is it's impossible to underestimate how badly the Republican base really wants to beat Barack Obama in November, and they are concerned. There is an emerging concern out of South Carolina that Mitt Romney maybe isn't tough enough. Until now, he's been seen as the most electable of the Republican contenders. Now that, I think, means that you'll see a much more bitter, sharper, personal sort of campaign in Florida between these two contenders, because otherwise, if Mitt Romney is perceived as weak, therefore less electable, that will really hurt him.
Now, Newt Gingrich this morning on Meet the Press, time and time again, was comparing himself to comparing his situation and himself a little bit to Ronald Reagan. What sort of resonance has this got within the Republican vote?
It resonates enormously because, of course, Reagan is a cherished figure in the Republican Party. Now, on the other hand, Mitt Romney's also taken a shot at Newt Gingrich before, saying that he's barely mentioned by Ronald Reagan in Reagan's writing, in his memoirs. And of course, Newt Gingrich is known for being fairly grandiose and comparing himself to historical figures. But he marches into Florida now, an absolutely crucial state, very strong, given this victory here in South Carolina. And for Mitt Romney, Florida really is a must-win now.
And Craig, just more broadly in the longer stretch now, if these two keep going at it, does it make them both potentially better competitors to go up against the president? Or perhaps would they punch each other out and voters might be weary of this by the time it becomes Democrats versus Republicans?
I missed a bit of that because the audio's not so good, but I think your question was about the importance of the debates and whether it is actually about selecting the best person to go up against Barack Obama. Now, Mitt Romney is saying that the debates are crucial, that he's up for a tough and long contest, and that it is important for there to be that kind of a contest if you are going to run for President of the United States. A little bit of noise behind me outside the State House here in South Carolina. But there is a concern. The party establishment is concerned that this could get very damaging. If it goes on too long, that will help Barack Obama. There's also a real concern that too much of the attacks here in South Carolina were directed at Mitt Romney's business record. And that is an antithesis to many in the Republican establishment, that he should be under fire and having to be defensive because he's been successful in business. So there's quite a bit of concern. The party establishment really does want to see a stronger performance from Mitt Romney in Florida. And Florida, of course, is a completely different state, much bigger, more diverse. The winner takes all the delegates there. Mitt Romney holds a big early lead, but then he held a big early lead coming here to South Carolina.
Craig, thanks very much for your time. We could hear you just fine on the noisy streets of South Carolina. It's Craig McMurtry, our North America correspondent, following the trail.